Well, in the top right position, currently 1-0 up, we've got our red Protoss player. He's done pretty well for himself. He played that game solidly, opening with a DT rush, just macroing it up after that with a lot of harassment. We do have mCon.ShaGGy.
And
And
in the
he's
bottom, his opponent is going to be the Blue Zerg, who just kind of failed to place his Spore Crawler at the correct spot and failed to place another one in his natural, and that was the point where the game was already lost. Once he lost that natural base, he knew he was in trouble. Can he bring it back in game number 2? We have the Blue Zerg, ShaGGy in the bottom left.
now Shaggy, of course, gonna be sitting there after game 1 and be like, it wasn't me. And that was a really bad pun. That was a really, really bad pun. I have been lining that up, and I was waiting for the right moment to use it, and I know it was terrible. I'm apologizing for it right now. That was genuinely really bad. I'm sorry,
I
everyone.
am so glad I got that joke because I'm so old to remember that song or the times when it was popular.
Yeah,
I'm so
we need to
glad.
get that in there.
Yeah.
We may have. I like the chat is laughing. Like they're probably just humoring me, to be honest. But I'm glad they are. Anyway, what should we be expecting from this game? Well, to be honest, mCon, he's going for the same build he went in the first game.
Yeah.
He's getting his go. He's getting his pylon. And yeah, he's generally going pretty nice. And
Yeah.
Shaggy getting his spawning pool up. Pool first. Should go into a quick hatchlet right about
Oh
right
my!
about pro block.
Yeah, my God, that was just the best scouting timing I have seen in a long while. I mean, mCon, he must have the. Oh, careful not to. Whoa. Okay, loses the probe. Never mind, he gets the Nexus down, so not exactly the same build. He just opens up with a gateway just to have that gateway up, and then proceeds to go with a Nexus and takes his gases. So yeah, he definitely is going for that very early mothership core as soon as the cyber core, which he yet has to put down, will finish, because that's the only way he will be able to really defend against any early aggression. Now, on the other hand, ShaGGy, if he knows about this and he is scouting this, if he knew that the cyber core only just now went down, he could just 2-base all in with Roach Link, and it would work, in my opinion.
It would work very well. He's already pumping a lot of lings. He's got
Yeah.
6 out on the field, and with no cannon, with just one zealot, if he micros it well, he can win that engagement.
Of course. I mean, 4 lings. If you target fire with the zealot really well, really well, you can beat 4 lings. But if the zealot is unmicroed and the Zerg micros his lings, like pulling back the hurt ones every time, he can kill 1 zealot. And
However, one way not to do it is focus the pylon. That is not a good way to engage a zealot.
yeah, he's trying to go for the surround, and there he tries to get it, but the probes are there as well. They are going to help out immensely in this fight, and they indeed do. ShaGGy is forced to disengage and go into the main. He gets a nice scout off. He's getting a 3rd base as well behind this, and just using these links to scout. So, 6 links, whenever a Protoss player sees 6 links, he has to be like, wait a minute, this is not right. But ShaGGy not overcommitting, not following this up, just using
Well, no,
those
the important
links.
thing for mCon as well, Bellinor, is that the probe scouted the 3rd.
Yeah.
That
Just
really was the key thing.
Just now. So he knows that he does not have to be afraid of any 2-base aggression or of any Olins. He can just go out on the map and see what he can do. And already getting his probe into a position to build a proxy pylon later on, but it will be seen by the Silver Lord that's just heading over there.
Indeed it was. So, cannon coming down, mothership core on its way. It's not actually a cannon, what I'm on about. A pylon coming down. The mothership core, warp gate tech, and 3 additional gateways. Delayed 4-gate pressure. Really nice with the mothership core. A lot of stalkers in towards this 3rd base is going to force units. And remember that first series we cast?
Yeah.
How effective was this play?
It was super effective. The difference though was that that attack had +1 finished, and we don't even have a forge out. The speed will be finishing, the pylon will go down, so I think this is already defended actually, because without the proxy pylon, without the +1, the army is much less cost efficient. Sure, he will have to retreat those Zerglings back, but once the speed finishes and he has enough Zerglings, he can just comfortably deny everything. I mean, those units, unless he lets a proxy pylon go up, he's just going to be fine.
which the probe is going to go and try and place that. And of course the Lings are preoccupied, but now they run over and they see everything. Good little move by Shaggy there. That is what he needed. And he's looking okay. These Zealots will clear up most of the Lings, but the Stalker was taken out. And as long as this proxy pylon isn't allowed to finish and get defended, it should be okay, and it should go down now.
Yeah, it will go down maybe. Oh, just barely the last Link gets it. That was so good. And in between of this, I really like what ShaGGy did. He was just droning up, because he knows he just has barely enough to defend this. Spinecrawler getting killed, but already Lings in production. He may lose this Queen, he may lose a couple of drones, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled drones to attack those Zealots as well at this point.
Oh, the Queen! Don't let the Queen go down! Oh, once that Queen's gone, of course, the Mothership Core is going to be able to run free, and mining will be denied. I also love this tech switch. Double Stargate getting thrown down behind this by mObywan. Such a smart move, because ShaGGy, he's going to have to pump so many Lings and Roaches to defend this. There goes the Roach Warren. All of his money, all of his gas going to be going into that. And yeah, once that happens, switch into Void Rays and just be like, hupped up, I've got Skill Rays, what are you going to do?
Void Rays backed up by 6-gate reinforcements, which, if he goes for this attack, which it looks like he will, unless he starts producing Phoenixes. No. Those are Void Rays indeed, so he's just going to produce like 4, maybe 6, then build additional gateways and just go for it, because he knows he did a lot of damage. A lot of Lings are being streamed across the map though.
Yeah, and there's nothing to defend.
Yeah, no cannons, no sentries, one Zealot being warped in, but he will need sentries, and he's pumping all of his gas into the Void Rays. I mean, he still has enough gas to warp in as many as 4 sentries.
Oh my god! Oh no! No, all the Zerglings are streaming. ShaGGy, this is so good for him. This is the best counterattack he could have ever hoped for.
Yes, a lot of probes will go down. They are already being pulled, and the Zerglings will go after them. They will not be focusing on anything else but the probes. The Void Rays have to be brought back. They will not be harassing the Zerg. They will be defending. But, you know, it takes such a long time to kill this amount of Lings with just Void Rays. A lot of damage is being dealt now by ShaGGy, and this is such a good move. The Phoenixes will have to go back. Meanwhile, we do have the Hydralisk Den being dropped, and you know, that's just the perfect counter, the hard counter to Void Rays. Hydralisk can just focus them down so quickly, and when the Protoss just lost 11 probes, the worker count is back to 52 versus 31.
Which is still clearly in favor of mObywan. It has leveled out after that massive 20 drone wave, but Hydras are now pumping. The lava are a bit short, and ultimately ShaGGy has to defend off this push. If he loses his third now, which he really is at risk of doing, then it could be a massive problem. I
mean, the Queen gets lifted up and the Void Rays take care of the rest. This is how it will go. There we go. There goes the lift up. The Hydras are just too far away. The muscular augments not really done. The bases are not connected by creeps, so it's going to take a lot of time for those Hydras to get here. And even then, they can be lifted up by the Phoenixes. And yes, that's precisely what mObywan does. I think he would be wise to abandon this third and rally everything to his natural and start building spores.
Yeah, you do not want to be streaming in the Hydras a couple at a time. There's the third going down, and once the Zerg player loses his third, it's generally pretty bad times.
Yeah, it is. +1 just now getting researched. The Colossus transition isn't making. Nice time bomb there to save those Phoenixes. Even though he lost the Mothership Core, he will have to remake that if he wants to be aggressive again. And I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to take a third base behind this, because you kind of need that third base if you're going Colossi and also want to be getting all those other units. I mean, we have 2 Stargates and they can be useful, and you need gas for that.
Yeah, you want to pump some Void Rays as well with this composition. If you are going for quite a few Colossi, you need some Void Rays just to scare the Zerg away from going Corruptors. But again, as we're seeing, the Phoenix count looking good. Would love to see some more harassment going on with those Phoenix. There's only 1 Spore Crawler in the main, and it's right at the back of the mineral line. Can definitely pick off a few units. And if the Hydras were to overextend, as they are doing now, you could really do some catastrophic fire.
Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, this is not nearly enough Hydras. Oh, but the Phoenixes are flying just over them. Oh my god, mObywan, so good, that reaction time. Can you believe that guy? Yeah. Let's see what the APM is for this guy. I mean, ShaGGy has higher average APM, and both of these guys are staying at around 200. Just amazing to watch, but these Hydras, I wouldn't go there if I were you. Like, no.
No, Colossi are in action. They're going to just start shredding away. Of course, every time, I should apologize for not wearing headphones. If I ever see Phoenix or something flying over Hydras, I make a sound that is only audible to Taylor Swift's demographic of audience. So I just, like, I make this squeal, just like, oh no, what's going to happen?
I think Day9 showed us what kind of a sound that probably is. Have you seen his Taylor Swift remix?
Yes, it hurt my ears.
Yeah, mine too. Mobywan in a pretty good spot, and again, as we saw before on Whirlwind, the previous PvZ we casted, using the Phoenixes, just being active around the map, scouting, doing damage where he can, while he powers up a pretty hard-hitting army. His third is going to go up uncontested. The upgrades are looking pretty good. +1 for air, +1 for ground. The Zerg is just now starting his +1/+1. Not a position you want to be in as a Zerg player. Generally, you want to start your upgrades before Protoss starts his, because he's got Chrono Boost and he is going to shoot ahead on those upgrades eventually.
Yeah, those upgrades are so important. The Fleet Beacon as well coming down, and once you start getting a Fleet Beacon out, you know Sky Toss is in full force. The Phoenix coming in to harass into the main base. There is now 2 Spore Crawlers, but that is a lot of Phoenix.
That is indeed a lot of Phoenix. We do have 7 Phoenix here. He may lose 1 or 2 8-1 coming in, and he kills a decent number of drones. Still, I mean, the number of drones / probes killed this game is still not very, very high, considered everything that's happened. It's around the number 10, give or take, for both guys. So
But the trouble is, Mobywan is still ahead.
Yeah, he is.
And he has been all game. And that's something which is problematic.
Well, Tempests are now on the way, I have to say.
This is a really interesting choice, going Tempest.
A weird choice, I have to say, because I mean, Void Rays would have been so good with this composition, but Tempests, I mean, unless the Zerg is going mass Swarm Hosts, you don't really want to have... Or Broodlords, you don't really want to have Tempests in your army. They are not as useful, but I guess Mobywan just wants to be fancy.
He just wants to have all of the siege units. He's like, I'm just going to kill you from afar with my Colossi and Tempest. Which is cool. I can deal with that. Being a bit swish is always fun.
And, you know, whenever the Zerg army closes, he does have massive gateway reinforcements. So he's going to have a massive gateway army on the ground. Wouldn't be surprised to start warping, you know, start being a little bit more heavy on sentries, because that's the way you can manage the Zerg ground army really effectively, efficiently with the force field, so nothing actually gets at those Tempests. And considering the Spire only now will be finishing, there is no other anti-air answer that can get close enough. Here we go, the Vipers, I mean the Hydras and Roaches are trying to close in, but with 4 Colossi, that's not good.
It's not going to go too well. The Spire, though, once that finishes up, means Corruptors can come out, and that's my concern for Mobywan.
Oh, here we go. Nice force field placement. This is what I was talking about. Look, and now he retreats the gateway army back, lets the Colossi and the Tempest do their job, and as the Zerg retreats, he's just going to be lifting up units and just, you know, I mean, until such a time we either have Vipers in combination with what ShaGGy is already fielding, or a ton of Corruptors, which is what he's building right now. He can't really engage this composition. He just does not have the right ratio of correct units to deal with this.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult, but ultimately, I've got to give credit to Mobywan. He stayed on equal bases with his opponent, or ahead for so long, and that's really where he's been able to capitalize on this game and get an advantage.
Well, but now the game is equaled out. I mean...
Looking at that work account, very equal.
It is quite equal. The Zerg has the 4th base, both players are nearly max, and now it's only about what units do I build, how do I use them, and scouting your opponent's composition. I mean, they both know kind of what they're going for. Now, the advantage the Zerg has at this point is he can exchange a large portion of his army, units that he does not want to have. In this case, I would say it would be the Roaches. Let them die in exchange for, I don't know, maybe a gateway, an expansion, or something. And then just mass produce the units he does need.
Yeah, it makes sense doing that, but I just wish MobyWan would lose those Phoenix. He can almost
Yeah.
afford to suicide them and then just get some more Void Waves out because he needs Void Waves against Colossi, against Corruptors.
Oh my god, he's breaking down the rocks. Shaggy is coming from behind.
And this is the sort of angle which is really nice with those Corruptors. They're doing a nice amount of damage, taking out those Tempests just as I said that they would be doing. And this is where Void Waves would be so important. The Stalkers have cleaned out most of the ground army, but so many Corruptors are out. Those Colossi just getting focused down incredibly easily. Retreating though, which is a good move. And for the moment, MobyWan is very, very far ahead.
He is. I mean, that engagement could have gone a lot better for Shaggy, but that being said, it was... I mean, I don't think there was very much more he could have hoped for in that fight. Now he has to repopulate his army really quickly, and he will lose this 5th base.
Yeah, the 5th base is going to go down. This army is now looking incredibly scary. Army supply 116 for MobyWan to 65 for Shaggy. MobyWan needs to keep going, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he is doing just that. He is aiming and gunning for the 4th base. Those 4 spine crawlers will not live very long. And Shaggy just GG's. He knows he's out for the count. Does not even